it's really handy because people with dementia wander a lot, and one of my trackers has found someone shoplifting at Waitrose. So I mean, they literally will just walk out of the house.
Hello, well, on this version of the Checkout Scout tent, I am joined by Jos Williams, who's the founder of Ubiqui, which is a tracking device suitable for pets, children, and even elderly people with dementia. Jos, welcome to our Checkout Scout tent.
Thank you.
You've got an interesting name for the product, actually. Tell us how you got the name and what exactly does it do?
It came back to the kind of customer insight. You can't be everywhere, and actually with trackers you can. And Ubiqui is Latin for everywhere, but I couldn't get the right spelling for the domain name, so we've turned it into Ubiqui.
Right, and tell us exactly what the product offers and the solution that it provides.
We provide trackers which work together with an app so that you can follow the whereabouts at any time of pets, children, the elderly, basically anything that hasn't got a mobile phone already. I mean, this solution exists for people with phones, so we're not trying to enter that space. We are looking particularly at markets with particularly vulnerable things or people.
Do trackers come with any sort of particular sort of compliance or almost like police or sociological, societal issues, or can you just commercially do your own tracking?
Not really. I mean, we do tell our customers that they have to obey the law, and you can't just put a tracker on anyone you want. But generally speaking, our trackers are for vulnerable or sensitive groups anyway. Our biggest markets are pets and elderly with dementia. So in all those cases, the person tracking has some kind of very good reason to do so. So, I mean, it's really handy because people with dementia wander a lot, and one of my trackers has found someone shoplifting at Waitrose. So I mean, they literally will just walk out of the house.
Right, that's an interesting point. So what the tracker finding something at shoplifting at Waitrose alerted the family member, and that they had to
exactly.
Go and get
their they came downstairs and no one was there, went on the app, and there was their father-in-law.
Right. You can literally geo-track them and that sort of thing. That's the whole point, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, there are limitations. GPS doesn't work that well indoors.
Right.
But our trackers move on to Wi-Fi at that point.
And what platforms and outlets are you selling on currently?
Well, we're currently primarily selling direct. We're on Amazon and eBay, but it's a pretty strong mix. And the main challenge, I guess, is that we're a subscription business. So we sell the product, but actually the subscription is the most important part to us.
And how does it work with Amazon then if you want to sell on Amazon but then generate a subscription? The customer comes to your website and goes forward from there?
Yes, I mean, we put the relevant information in the box saying you have a free trial and up until such a date, after which you will need to buy a subscription from us.
But what is the size of the business now? What sort of units are you shifting, and what can you tell us about your run rate at the moment?
We're about 700,000 run rate 1 year in. Obviously, we launched in week 2 of the first lockdown, so that was extraordinarily poor timing by myself, mainly because our suppliers in China had been locked down for 3 months beforehand.
You mentioned China there. Has that been a big challenge for you in terms of sourcing, or is everything flowing well now?
They're very good. I mean, people always say to me, "Oh, you can't depend on China," but actually, the entire supply chain is in China. You've got to build relationships and work with them. My biggest frustration is that I can't get out there, because I know that you work much better when you eat meals and look each other in the eye.
What would you say was your biggest challenge setting up the business from an e-commerce perspective, and how did you overcome that?
the biggest challenge was we did everything on using sort of entry-level tools, and so the website's built on WooCommerce. The CRM tool is Mailjet. These are all very simple products. I would say they're actually great products, because the problem is when you're at big companies, you get more and more complicated stuff, and you think it's really important that you upgrade and you add X, Y, and Z. But actually what you don't see is that the products coming behind are actually getting better all the time, and you can get so much stuff almost for free now. So that's always a good tip, to go and look at the basic stuff.
So Jos, you mentioned WooCommerce there. Why did you choose WooCommerce over Shopify, for instance?
Well, I'd done some consulting with Shopify, and I thought it was fantastic. But the agency I wanted to work with really thought subscriptions work better with WooCommerce. And so I went away and didn't believe them. But after doing my homework, it really, every single forum was pretty much saying like for like. It's just I wasn't as aware of WooCommerce in the first place.
So apart from that, as we rattle through towards the end of the little chat, what other challenges or issues have you got on the website that you want to improve? You know, is there anything in terms of the sort of the look and feel, or the how you manage choices or journeys for customers that you need to work on? We need to work more on making it easier buying subscriptions. If you've just got a tracker and you then want to come back and buy a subscription, if you buy both together, it's all very simple. But you're then giving people choices that they don't necessarily understand. Do they want a data SIM, a voice SIM, etc., etc.? And quite often people buy the wrong thing. Then we have to tell them that they really don't want what they've ordered, like a voice SIM for a dog. Obviously, you've got a business going already, which is looking very good. Is there anything else out there as a business that exists that you kind of almost like wish you had, or admire the way they operate in the e-commerce sector? Certainly, my favourite website is actually Spoke London. It's a very straightforward store for buying trousers in. Unlike anyone else, they've got a million different sizes. So no matter whether you're a 37.5 or a 39.25, they will have the right thing for you. And then just to finish, have you had any funny or humorous incidents on your e-commerce journey you could share with the our viewers of Checkout Scout? Yes, we did send a dog collar to a poor old man with dementia, and we then entered this slightly embarrassing conversation where we were asked where he should put it, and obviously it was not required. What should he have got? Perhaps you could show us the product. What would you normally give a customer in that situation? This is one of them. This is the 4G tracker, but essentially it comes with a lanyard or a keyring connection. So most people with dementia keep these things on their key rings. And do they remember to take their keys? Yeah, remarkably, it's sort of like muscle memory. Everyone remembers to pick up their keys on the way out through the door. Right. Well, that's a good note to end on, and somewhat encouraging that at least that will happen. And I hope you keep many pets, children, and dementia sufferers too from out of harm's way. Jos Williams, the founder of Ubiqui, thank you very much for joining us on the Checkout Scout tent. It was a pleasure. Thank you.